I love how barbecues like symbolize.
What does it symbolize?
Like unity.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I grew up in a household that, you know, my voice wasn't prioritized. As an adult, as a working artist in this community, I'm just trying to get people to listen, no matter how I can, you know?
Life is like a carousel, won't you go round with me?
Well, my name's Eliza. I am 26 years old. I'm born and raised in Stockton, California, and I am a community organizer, artist, and I work in nonprofits. Being a non-binary person in like a body that is always perceived as like a woman, it's kind of been an obstacle because not everyone like respects that. Art has kind of been a vessel for me telling my story. It gives me a way to kind of solidify my storytelling. It's like a physical form. You can give it to other people, and now it's theirs. And then, you know, music, it's kind of the same with the zines, but it's like more accessible, right? So like you can listen to this song whenever you want. And I feel like I've just kind of used these different mediums, like spoken word, to actually get myself heard. I grew up super poor on the east side of Stockton where there are no sidewalks. And my parents, I lived with my mom and my stepdad. They were both addicts, actively in their addiction. You don't really talk about what's going on. I loved going to school because I got to like get out of there, right? And I got to see something else. And then I was bullied at school. I was bullied for like my weight and for like being poor. It could harden you, or it could soften you. I think it gave me a harder shell, but a softer heart. Like 6th, 7th grade, I started writing poetry. It was kind of like really emo, and it rhymed a lot, and I was just really kind of obsessed with like the formula of poetry because it was easy to digest and read as opposed to like reading a book. And a teacher told me I was good at it, and so I kind of ran with it, and I've been doing it ever since. Themes that I usually explore like in my poetry are usually just like personal experiences I've had. Dress on waist, any feeling of cute I might have had today has since been evaporated with the heat wave. That medium allows me to actually tell my story in a way that they can experience what I experienced. I like to make zine because it kind of takes the writing element and the visual element and puts them together in like one medium. My first zine, which was about growing up in a plus-size body, how you're treated in the world, how you view yourself, how you equate your value, how the media portrays you, all of these things. I got to print 10 copies, realized I could make a profit to like support myself so that I could print more, and people cared. Followed me on Instagram and were like, hey, I just want to let you know that like this zine helped me through some things I've been struggling with, and I think that's what kind of gave me the motivation to keep doing it. We found Soggy Ratz in 2018, and it's actually me and one of my friends, and we were both barely making ends meet, and we were just tired of work and sleep, and we just wanted to do something creative. And it started just like singing our poetry, and then it turned into music. We got really popular in like 2019. We did like a lot of festivals and shows, and it was honestly super surreal. As of 2022, Soggy Ratz has disbanded, but it was definitely like such an amazing experience. It kind of just like made me have like this little family in a time in my life where things were really tumultuous and heavy and unstable, but it kind of provided me like something I felt proud about, you know. My on and off partner at the time, who like was like physically abusive, committed suicide, and it was really, really traumatic. We had a really bad relationship, so I kind of lost it, and I needed some time to get it together. And then I saw Tullyburg Press, which is a local nonprofit in town. They make paper, they publish local authors, they make books, and they had this program called Pieces to Piece, where you can bring an article of clothing and make paper out of it to then bind into a journal and then write. So I brought one of his t-shirts and we made paper out of it. And I think that that's just when I knew, like, if I have a choice in the matter, I want to do something like this. Then the opportunity happened where they needed a zine teacher. I jumped on it and I started working for them in their after school program. And now it almost feels like this ecosystem that is thriving off one another in a really awesome way. I think definitely by being a teacher, facilitating creative spaces has definitely allowed me to at least pass the torch. There you go. Okay, now you're just kind of gonna like hold it like this, like flat, right? Okay. I just want to help people get from one place to another, showing up for my community and being the bridge. I don't see it as like a bad thing, is that I'm being stepped on, right? I see it as I'm helping people. Sometimes the best way to help someone is by saying what they're thinking and don't have the courage to say. And so that's why I make the zines that I do, the art that I do. That's why I stand up and I advocate for myself, because that might inspire someone to advocate for their self. That's my role. I think my role is to just lead by example and to just be unapologetically myself so that other people can do that. You know, it could be personal, it could be silly, and I think that that's the thing is, I think people are afraid to make a mistake or they're afraid to adventure out, and I want to encourage that. I want to encourage people to be silly and just make something, right? Like, just make something.